Over the last couple of months, cruise lines have been quietly changing and implementing new rules and policies that will affect your cruise. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, cruise lines have definitely made a lot of changes in the last few years, but in the last couple of months, up until early next year, there are a lot of different changes that are coming into effect, and some of them have been implemented a little bit quietly. Now, in some cases, some cruise passengers are not going to like all of the changes. Other things you may actually like, but I think many of the things, whether you like it or not, I think we can probably agree that some of them might have been necessary, or at the very least, that maybe cruise lines had their reasons. Now, before I get started, you know the drill. If you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you here within the Life Well Cruise community. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about a new cruise policy that has been getting a lot of buzz lately. I'm actually talking about the tightening of cruise drink package rules. Now, on Carnival Cruise Line, it seems many cruise passengers are reporting that Carnival has quietly changed a little rule. Now, it was always that you cannot share your drink package. And by the way, this is across the board on every cruise line. You cannot do this. But when you went and got a drink, well, you used to have to wait 5 minutes between getting another drink. Now, the waiting time has actually extended to 10 minutes, and you are not allowed, apparently, to get double shots. Now, just to let you know, I actually did research this a little bit, and many cruise lines have similar rules. It may not be that waiting time, but there is a rule that you can't actually get more than one drink at a time on several different cruise line websites. And in fact, I did look this up on Celebrity's Cruise Line website, and you're not able to do this either. Now, in the case of Carnival, what do you think? It's definitely, like I said, been getting a lot of buzz lately. The pun was intended. But do you think that this could be helping maybe with the overconsumption issues that some people talk about? Could it be that cruise lines are just trying to cut down on any sharing of packages? Let me know what you think, please, of this rule down in the comments below. Dining limits, say it's not so. Cruise lines, I don't think we want dining limits, do we? Well, some people say we do. So Norwegian Cruise Line is one of the latest cruise lines to actually implement an extra charge for a main dish in the main dining room. And by the way, there is still plenty of food to eat on a cruise. But Norwegian Cruise Line recently made a change that in its included main dining rooms, you can have one main dish or entree. But if you decide that you want to get more than that, there is a $5 charge. And appetizers and desserts, those are still unlimited. Buffet is still unlimited. To my knowledge, the casual restaurants still unlimited. So not a super big deal, but NCL is now joining Carnival, who does have an additional $5 for a third meal. So you can still get 2 meals, and MSC has the same policy as NCL. Now, the cruise lines say that this is to reduce food waste, and if you've ever been on a cruise, you know that food waste is definitely an issue. But still, this is not a change that everybody is welcoming. Now, sticking with dining and dining limits, Norwegian Cruise Line has recently changed its room service policy, and they've actually limited the amount of food that people can order to their room for that delivery charge. And just to let you know, Norwegian Cruise Line does have a delivery charge of between $5 and $10 when you do order room service to your cabin. This is not the same across all cruise lines. However, they are now limiting per order what you can order. So if you want to order more, for example, than one hot and one cold main dish in the evening time, there will be an extra delivery fee. Now, while some people do not like this, I've heard other people say this is going to reduce the amount of trays that we see sometimes in the hallways on cruise ships. And a lot of people say that they just do not like this. Now, I will talk about this in a future video, but room service is something that I actually really do like on cruises. And this is one of the differentiation factors between different cruise lines. So if you'd like to see a video on what is the best cruise line to pick based on inclusions, please let me know down in the comments below. New banned items. Now this is very recent. Disney Cruise Line has banned or is confiscating certain hair dryers. Now, on a recent Disney cruise, right before going, I was speaking to Becky from MEI Travel. They are our travel agent partner, by the way, that I talk about sometimes and recommend, and I will leave their contact information down in the description below this video. But she actually shared with me a little warning because her hair dryer was confiscated, and this had to do with the voltage. Now, I have to tell you, I was a little bit worried if my hair dryer would get confiscated when I went on Disney, and it wasn't. So it really is specific kinds. I'll try to leave the information down below, but it is something that we might be watching for to see if other cruise lines will follow suit. Cruise line dress codes. Now we have 2 cruise lines that are actually going less formal than they used to be, and I do think that this is a sign of the times. And in one case, they did it pretty quietly. I didn't even know about it. Now, one of them is Regent Seven Seas that actually has done away with their more formal dress code. And people are still, of course, welcome to dress up more formally if they want to, but they have relaxed the dress code on Regent. Now, still no ripped jeans and that kind of thing, still dressing nicely, but it does seem like their guests are welcoming this change. Now, we also have Cunard, and I feel like they've made a change and it's been a little bit quieter. Now, they still have their formal nights, by the way, and Cunard is a very traditional cruise line. I think a lot of people who book Cunard really like the dressing up aspect, but not everybody. So their smart casual nights no longer for men require a jacket and tie. Now, by the way, if you're going on a cruise and you want to make sure that you stay organized and that you do not forget a thing, I do have the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner. Now, the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner is a 47-page downloadable printable cruise planner that you could use from the time that you book your cruise all the way through embarkation and disembarkation. Now, it includes cruise packing lists, cruise budget planning forms, cruise shore excursion planning forms, cruise outfit planning forms, and more. And because it is a printable planner, you can print out only the pages that you need for every cruise that you ever go on. Now, if you are interested in seeing what's included in the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner, I will leave all of the information linked down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. Cruise line pricing model changes. Now, I'm going to talk specifically about Virgin Voyages, but there was something that I noticed about this change that made me think about another couple of cruise lines as well. So Virgin Voyages, just to let you know, they have made a really big change. Like in the cruise industry, to my knowledge, it's the only cruise line that does this, that has a 3-tier pricing model. So it really has changed things. Now you have your basic pricing model that doesn't have a lot of flexibility. You cannot choose your cabin, and also your dining reservations, which are pretty important on Virgin Voyages because they don't have any one main included restaurant for the evening time. It's all sort of specialty restaurants that are included. So those dining reservations are pretty important. You don't get any of that with the lower tiered pricing, or at least you really have a shorter window of time for those dining reservations. And when you get to that upper tier, you have a lot more flexibility. You have a lot more benefits. One of the benefits is actually the premium Wi-Fi. And it does make it, I think, a bit of a better value. Let me know if you'd like a video on Virgin Voyages, what it includes, some of these changes. They are pretty big. But it made me think about something that I've noticed in the discussion around Princess Cruise Lines, where their bundle, their Princess Plus or Princess Premier, are a very good value. But some people say, I don't want to have to get one of those bundles for whatever reason. I just don't need all of that. And Princess has made some changes where they've raised the price of their internet, where a lot of people are saying, oh my goodness, it really is so expensive for their internet. And it really isn't worth it unless you bundle. And a lot of people are saying they are trying to push people to opt into Princess Plus or one of the other bundles. Now, let me know, please. We've seen this a little bit on other cruise lines where those bundles are such a good value. It encourages people to move up. And in that way, a lot of people may spend more and the cruise lines may make more money. Cruise line gratuities. Now, this is always a source of contention, but Virgin Voyages did something that I don't think a lot of guests are very happy about, but maybe it was something that they kind of had to do in terms of being competitive, because they've actually unbundled the price of a Virgin Voyages cruise. It no longer includes gratuities for crew, so that is something you have to factor in separately. Private island changes and drink packages. Now, are cruise lines changing the model for private islands? Not entirely. However, we are definitely seeing some cruise line private islands change what is and isn't included. Now, this includes Norwegian Cruise Line, who on Great Stirrup Cay, they're doing a big refurbishment. Their drink package is no longer going to be valid on the island, and they're going to have a new package that is going to come out that you can opt into. Now, while this is similar to Carnival's Celebration Cay, it is not the same as Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay or MSC's private island Ocean Cay. However, if you're going to be sailing with Princess, you may have noticed that after a certain date in 2026, many of the Caribbean cruises, instead of going to Princess Cays, are heading over to Celebration Cay. And that means that when you are on Celebration Cay, you will not have use of the Princess Plus or Princess Premier drink package. Now, personally, I really like Carnival's Celebration Cay, but I feel like this change was really slipped in a little bit quietly. And I'm not sure if all Princess cruisers are going to love that. Now, if you are a Princess cruiser, please let me know how you feel about that. Are you happy to be going to a new private island or exclusive destination? Or would you prefer to go to Princess Cays where your drink package is included? Please let me know down in the comments below. There is no getting around cruise Wi-Fi costs. Well, maybe one way. But overall, any of those tips and tricks that people were using to use Wi-Fi routers and mini Starlinks, well, those do not work anymore. You are not able to bring them, I think, on any cruise line at all. And I actually recently watched a video where somebody tried to test this out. And just to save you the time, by the time we got, I think, 14 minutes into the video, maybe a little bit longer, it did not work for him either. Now, the only other potential way around this is if you are using an alternative. Now, one of them is the GigSky Cruise and Land eSIM. And if you are a light to moderate internet user, this might work for you and is going to be more cost effective. Now, if you are curious about that, I will leave the information down below in the description of this video. The social media enforcement policy. Now, I think that this is a little bit of an unofficial policy, but we've definitely seen cruise lines enforce the policies. If they see anybody posting on social media that they are not following the rules, they are coming down hard. Now, in particular, I'm talking about people who are sneaking in alcohol, but there are other rules as well. And people are saying that they are actually getting banned for life or kicked off their cruise. And in this case, I do really think that cruise lines have to do it because on social media, things really spread, and it is one way that they can curtail this. All right. We have to talk about a couple of banned items or things that might get confiscated. So let's first talk about wine. Make sure that you are packing wine in your carry-on bag and not your checked luggage. Now, people have been reporting recently that if they are putting their wine in their checked luggage, that it is actually getting confiscated and not even given back. Now, sometimes people are packing it in their checked luggage just because it's easier. Maybe they're coming straight from the airport and it was already wrapped up well in your checked luggage. So don't do this. Remove it from your checked luggage, and before you go on your cruise, put it in your carry-on instead. Now, there has been some confusion over another item, and this is the non-surge protected power cube. Now, I think a lot of people are aware that a few months ago, Royal Caribbean has banned the use of non-surge protected power cubes. And by the way, what you could use instead is a USB charging hub. But cruise lines have actually had to come out, as an example, Carnival's John Hill, to say, No, these are not banned on Carnival. So this is not across the board. If you are using a non-surge protected power cube for extra outlets and extra USB outlets, I still use this. You absolutely can on most cruise lines. Now, I am going to leave all of the information about the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. And I would love to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts on some of these policy changes. Like them, don't like them, let me know down in the comments below. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bye for now and happy cruising.